Hello, today we'll be talking about Goodra, the third of three pure Dragon-type Pokemon introduced in Gen 6. The other two being its pre-evolutions, Goomy and Slagoo, the latter of whom evolves at level 50 during the rain. Goodra is also the pseudo-legendary of Gen 6. Hisuian Goodra is also the first Steel Dragon, final evolution, and only third stage Steel Dragon Pokemon as of the filming of this. Being the final evolution of Goomy in the Hisui region, which evolves into Hisuian Slagoo, which evolves at level 50 during the rain. Hisuian Goodra is also the only third stage Hisuian form, final third stage regional form as of the filming of this, and the pseudo-legendary of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Its previous PYC dates are February 1st, 1998, December 3rd, 2000, October 5th, 2003, August 6th, 2006, June 7th, 2009, April 8th, 2012, February 8th, 2015, December 10th, 2017, October 11th, 2020, and August 13th, 2023. As I mentioned yesterday, I find it odd that non-Hisuian Goodra doesn't really continue with the snail shell-like part that was added with non-Hisuian Slagoo. Because of this, I'm glad that Hisuian Goodra keeps the shell. I love how friendly Goodra looks. Anyway, I most know non-Hisuian Goodra from 3 places. 1. Thanks to this series, I know it as one of the Pokemon of Ash Ketchum in the Gen 6 era of the anime, as well as a few later appearances. 2. I know it from 4 trailers for Pokemon Legends ZA. 3. I know it from 2 trailers for Pokopia, where it appears in the same clip. Anyway, let's get into the Bulbapedia article. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Today we'll be talking about Goodra. As non-Hisuian Goodra, it's the Dragon Pokemon, and as Hisuian Goodra, it's the Shell Bunker Pokemon. Its number is 0706. This is non-Hisuian Goodra, this is what it looks like. This is Hisuian Goodra, this is what it looks like. Types, Dragon, as non-Hisuian Goodra, and Steel Dragon as Hisuian Goodra. Abilities, Sap Sipper or Hydration as non-Hisuian Goodra. Sap Sipper or Shell Armor as Hisuian Goodra, and Gooey is its hidden ability. Gender ratio is 50-50, catch rate is 45 or 11.9%. Breeding is a group Dragon, and hatch time 40 cycles. As non-Hisuian Goodra, it's 6'7", or 2 meters, and 331.8 pounds, or 150.5 kilograms. As Hisuian Goodra, it's 5'7", or 1.7 meters, and 736.6 pounds, or 334.1 kilograms. Base experience yield is 270, leveling rate is slow, EV yield is 3, and special defense, shape is that. Pokedex color is purple, and base friendship is 35. Goodra is a Dragon-type Pokemon introduced in Gen 6. It evolves from Slagoo, starting at level 50, when leveled up during rain in the overworld. It is the final form of Goomy. In Hisui, Goodra has a dual-type Steel/Dragon regional form, Hisuian Goodra. It evolves from Hisuian Slagoo starting at level 50 during rain in the overworld. It is the final form of Goomy in the Hisui region. It is referred to as a pseudo-legendary Pokemon by fans. Biology, Goodra is a bipedal, draconic Pokemon that is coated with slime. Most of its body is pale purple with a darker purple underside. It has bright green eyes, 2 green spots on each cheek, a relatively long neck, and a short, rounded snout. On top of its head are 2 pairs of antennae-like horns. The foremost horns are small nubs, but the hind horns are longer, thicker, and curve down its neck. The tips of the larger horns are slightly curled. It has proportionately short limbs, with 2 digits each, and a large, thick tail with a curled tip. Along each side of its tail are 3 green spots. A pale green slime is usually visible, dripping from its chin and arms. It is known for having a great affinity for water, being able to live within water with no difficulty at all, as well as dive and surf all around the area. Because of its meek, friendly nature, Goodra is often teased for supposed weakness. Goodra is known to be very friendly. When it grows close to someone, it will hug them and leave them coated in slime. If it is left alone, it will ooze gooey tears. Goodra usually misunderstands instructions, appearing dazed or bewildered. Despite this, many trainers don't mind it, instead finding this behavior to be adorable. However, it will strike at its tormentors with its retractable horns and powerful tail. Goodra can become uncontrollable once enraged. The horns can hit 100 times harder than the blow of a heavyweight boxer. It is also capable of throwing punches with incredible force. Its slimy coating, in combination with a layer of fat, causes attacks to slide off. Goodra lives in plains and mountains, usually during rainy days. Prior to Gen 9, Goodra and its pre-evolved forms were the only known Pokémon that could have Gooey as an ability. Forms: Goodra has an ancient regional form, Hisuian Goodra. Hisuian Goodra has droopy gray eyes, as well as a thinner body and legs. Its horns are longer and thinner than Colossian Goodra's horns. It sports a large, spiral-shaped metallic shell on its back, which it can tuck its body into to protect itself, leaving only its head outside of the shell to observe its surroundings. It can control the hardness of its shell at will. It has fewer gray spots than Colossian Goodra, with one on each side of its cheek, and two on each side of its shell. From its chin and arms drips a metallic gray slime. Hisuian Goodra has a clingy disposition and hates being alone. It will become angry and run riot if its closest companions leave its side. If anything bad happens to Hisuian Goodra, it will retreat into its shell and bounce away like a rubber ball. While in this state, Hisuian Goodra is powerful enough to knock down trees and roll into mountains. It has been recently seen inside Hyperspace Lobios. Hisuian Goodra and its pre-evolved forms are the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Shelter. Evolution: Goodra evolves from Slugoo and is the final form of Goomy, so Goomy, Slugoo, Goodra. In Hisui, Goodra has a regional form that evolved from Hisuian Slugoo and is the final form of Goomy in the Hisui region. So Goomy, Hisuian Slugoo, Hisuian Goodra. Hisuian Goodra hiding in a shell. Game data Pokedex entries in Gen 6X. This very friendly Dragon-type Pokemon will hug its beloved trainer, leaving that trainer covered in sticky slime. Why? It attacks with retractable horns. It throws a punch that's the equivalent of the force of 100 pro boxers. Omega Ruby is X's entry, Alpha Sapphire's Y's entry. In Gen 7 Sun, an amazingly friendly Pokemon, but if left to itself, loneliness overcomes it, and it oozes gooey tears. Moon. It gets picked on because it's meek, but then whoever teased it gets to feel the full force of its horns and a good swatting from its thick tail. Ultra Sun. It's very friendly toward people. If you grow close to it, Goodra will hug you with its sticky, slime-covered body. Don't get mad. Ultra Moon. Underneath its slimy skin is a thick layer of fat, and the combination of the two makes enemies' attacks slide right off. In Gen 8 for non-Hisuian Goodra, Sword. Sometimes it misunderstands instructions and appears dazed or bewildered. Many trainers don't mind, finding this behavior to be adorable. Shield. Its form of offense is forcefully stretching out its horns. The strikes land 100 times harder than any blow from a heavyweight boxer. For Hisuian Goodra, Legends Arceus. Able to freely control the hardness of its metallic shell, it loathes solitude and is extremely clingy. It will fume and run riot if those dearest to it ever leave its side. In Gen 9, for non-Hisuian Goodra, Scarlet. It loves the rain. This mellow Pokemon can be seen walking around on the plains and in the mountains on rainy days. Violet. This Pokemon is uncontrollable when enraged. It rampages on, lashing its tail with enough power to send a dump truck flying. In Legends ZA, this very friendly dragon Pokemon will hug its beloved trainer, leaving that trainer covered in sticky slime. For the Hisuian form in Legends ZA, if anything bad happens to it, Goodra retreats into its shell and bounces around like a rubber ball, knocking down trees and boring into mountains. Pokopia is Shield's entry. This is Goodra in the Alola Pokedex. Goodra in the Paldea Pokedex. You got a couple of them here. Goodra in the Kitakami Pokedex. It's a full evolutionary line image. We got Goodra here, a Slugoo, and to Goomy here. I don't know why the images are like this, but also this is significant because most pseudo-legendaries don't appear with their pre-evolutions. They're all like on their own and like edgy and stuff. All their images. It's pretty cool to have one with it have be a full evolutionary line image. Game locations. Side game locations. And events. Held items for Hisuian Goodra in Legends Arceus. Normal, and has the Springy Mushroom 35% of the time. Ball of Mud 15% of the time, and Growdowns by level. Alpha EXP Candy L 100% of the time. Seed of Mastery 40% of the time, and Growdowns by level. I still don't know how the math works. Stats, base stats, will compare Goodra and Hisuian Goodra. So, non-Hisuian Goodra has HP 90, while Hisuian Goodra has HP 80. Non-Hisuian Goodra has attack 100, so does Hisuian Goodra. Non-Hisuian Goodra has defense 70. Hisuian Goodra has defense 100. Non-Hisuian Goodra has special attack 110. So does Hisuian Goodra. Goodra has special defense 150. So does Hisuian Goodra. Non-Hisuian Goodra has speed 80. And Hisuian Goodra has speed 60. And they both have a total of 600. Type effectiveness. We'll compare non-Hisuian Goodra and Hisuian Goodra. So, non-Hisuian Goodras damage normally by normal, fighting, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, ghost, steel, psychic, and dark. While Hisuian Goodras damage normally by ghost, fire, ice, dragon, dark, and fairy. The only ones that stay the same between them are ghost and dark. Non-Hisuian Goodras weak to ice, dragon, and fairy all for double, while Hisuian Goodra is weak to fighting and ground for double. Non-Hisuian Goodra is immune to nothing, while Hisuian Goodra is immune to poison. Non-Hisuian Goodra is resistant to fire, water, grass, and electric all for half. Hisuian Goodra is resistant to normal, flying, rock, bug, steel, water, electric, and psychic for half, and grass for a fourth. In the Goodra box, we have notes. If this Pokemon has Sap Sipper, the effectiveness of grass-type moves is 0, so it would be 0 instead of half. In the non-Hisuian Goodra box, notes. This Pokemon is given a ring target, the effectiveness of poison-type moves is 1, so go from 0 to 1. If this Pokemon has Sap Sipper, the effectiveness of grass-type moves is 0, so be 0 instead of a fourth. Learn set. Goodra and Hisuian Goodra are available in Scarlet and Violet and Legends ZA. By leveling up, Goodra in Scarlet and Violet will go down to 50. Never mind, we'll do this Evo here and then go down to 58. So upon evolution, it gets Aqua Tail, 58 Muddy Water, and 67 Power Whip. For Legends EA, we'll go down to 50. At 56, it gets Surf, which boosts at 59. And at 58, it gets Power Whip, which boosts at 61. For Hisuian Goodra and Scarlet and Violet, we'll do this Evo here and then go down to 50. So upon evolution, it gets Iron Tail, 58 Muddy Water, and 67 Heavy Slam. For Legends EA, we'll do this Move Reminder here and then go down to 50. So by Move Reminder, it gets Breaking Swipe, which boosts at 10. At 55, it gets Heavy Slam, which boosts at 58. At 56, it gets Surf, which boosts at 59. And at 58, it gets Sludge Wave, which boosts at 61. By TM, we're skipping for both games and both versions. By reading, we're skipping. By a prior evolution for Goodra in Scarlet and Violet. Slagoo gives it Acid Armor. It is a poison status move. Its PP, haha, is 20. Z is nothing. For Hisuian Goodra in Scarlet and Violet. Hisuian Slagoo gives it Acid Armor. It's a poison status move. Its PP, haha, is 20. Z is nothing. Side game data for Goodra. You got all this. New Pokemon Snap in the Photodex entry. I suspect the Goodra in the cave lives near water so it can moisten up its protective goo when it needs to. Goodra are very kind-hearted and do their best to protect other Pokemon. For Hisuian Goodra, it's just Pokemon Go. Evolution data, Goodra evolves from Slagoo, starting at level 50 when leveled up during Rain in the Overworld. In Gen 7 only, Slagoo will also evolve when leveled up during Fog in the Overworld. Rain, instigated by Rain Dance, Drizzle, or Primordial Sea will not trigger Slagoo's evolution. It is the final form of Goomy. In Hisui, Goodra has a dual-type Steel/Dragon regional form. It evolves from Hisuian Slagoo starting at level 50 during Rain in the Overworld. It is the final form of Goomy in the Hisui region. All Goomy in Hisui will evolve into Hisuian Slagoo regardless of their game of origin. Goomy, level 40 outside of Hisui. Non-Hisuian Slagoo, level 50 during Rain. Non-Hisuian Goodra, level 40 in Hisui. Hisuian Slagoo, level 50 during Rain. Hisuian Goodra. Sprites, so you got the models. So, like the previous two forms, the darker purple part is orange, the lighter purple part is yellow, and the green parts are purple. Maybe a couple shades of purple. Gen 7, not really much change, except the eyes? The eyes get smaller? Oh no, it seems to be it seems like it's like an animation or something. Okay. The horns might also get a little bit, I don't know. In Gen 8 and Sword and Shield, you get the much better models. Yeah, definitely different shades of purple. Okay. In Legends Arceus, you get the models for Hisuian Goodra here. So it's much like Hisuian Slagoo. It just seems like the main differences are the green and the gray part, like brown and darker green, yeah. Homes, you get these models for both of them. Animation. Goodra and Pokemon Journeys, the series. Ash's Goodra is the big one. Pokedex entries. I recorded this one in the anime section, so I'll let Ash's Pokedex read it.
Goodra, the dragon Pokemon, and the evolved form of Sliggoo. Goodra is very friendly, and one of its hugs can cover its trainer with a sticky slime.
Pokemon Twilight Wings, Goodra and Pokemon Twilight Wings. Poketoon in the manga. Goodra and Pokemon Adventures. Goodra and After the Rain Goomy. all in color. All this. The TCG. Other appearances, Pokemon Unite, main article, Goodra Unite. Goodra is playable through obtaining a Unite license. It is a melee defender that starts as Goomy and evolves into Sliggoo at level 5, which evolves into Goodra at level 8. So, Goodra in Pokemon Unite. Trivia, Goodra is the only pseudo-legendary Pokemon to have an evolution method requiring more than just leveling up to have a regional form. Colossian Goodra is the only pseudo-legendary Pokemon to have one type, not counting Mega Garchomp Z. Every one of Colossian Goodra's base stats are exactly double those of Goomy, with Colossian Sliggoo's being halfway in between, rounded up. I read this 4th point in the Horsey video. I read this 5th point in the Registeel video. In Pokemon Legends Arceus' internal code, Hisuian Goodra's secondary ability is Overcoat instead of Shell Armor. I read the 7th point in the Hydreigon video, but not the sub-point, so I'll read it. Goodra has the lowest attack stat of all pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Goodra is the first pseudo-legendary Pokemon to not be immune to any types through ordinary type matchups. However, if its ability is Sap Sipper, that would give it immunity to grass-type moves. Goodra's 150 base special defense stat is the highest single base stat of any non-Mega Evolved pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Or this last one in the Sliggoo video. Concept and development, Colossian Goodra was designed by Seiya Zuruta. Origin, Goodra, due to its dragon type, elongated body shape, and retractable tentacles used for battling, is likely based on Liu Carcol, a mythical serpent/mollusk creature from French folklore. Like its pre-evolved forms, it could also be based on soft-bodied gastropods such as slugs and nudibranch. In particular, the Blue Dragon Sea Slug. Goodra's Pokedex entry may be a reference to slugs' retractable eyes, which retract when they are in danger. Alternatively, it could be based on the yokai called Shuspora, meaning Ascended Trumpet Shell, which is a trumpet shell snail that lives 1,000 years in the mountains, 1,000 on the plains, and 1,000 at sea. Then it will ascend and turn into a dragon. Hisuian Goodra is likely based on a snail. Its metallic shell in particular may be based on the scaly-foot gastropod, a species of deep-sea snail, unique for its shell, which consists of iron sulfide compounds. The brown color of its shiny variant's shell may reference how metal rusts when exposed to water for too long. Its Pokedex entry may be a reference to mercury. Mercury has historically been used to treat various disorders, including melancholy in ancient Greece and medieval Europe. However, it is actually a deadly neurotoxin, which with repeated exposure will cause various physical and mental disorders over time. Whilst the Goo's entry mentions melancholy, implying mild exposure, Goodra appears to have progressed to full mood disorder. Alternatively, this mood could reflect a pun with the Japanese word shimepoi, which can mean gloomy, melancholic, but also human damp, as a reference to the evolutionary line's usual habitat. Name origin, Goodra may be a combination of goo and dragon, or hydra, may also be an inversion of dragoon, may also derive from good, referring to its kindly nature as opposed to the more violent dispositions of other pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Numelgon may be a combination of Numaru, to be slippery, gel, and dragon. Languages, related articles, references, external links to the Hisuian forms, and the pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Let's move on. Now let's watch Goodra's first scene in the anime.
Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. Today we are watching episode 864, Good Friends, Great Training. In this episode, Ash Ketchum, the main character, and his traveling companions Serena and Bonnie, as well as his faithful Pokemon Pikachu and Bonnie's Dedenne, are on this mountainside with a friend they've known from a previous episode, I guess, Tierno, and his Raichu and Wartortle, as well as the main Team Rocket team, consisting of Jesse, James, and their talking Meowth, as well as Wobbuffet and Pumpkaboo. Right now, in this very unique evolution scene, Ash's Sliggoo is evolving, and it's caused this rain because there's a bunch of fire surrounding Ash and friends. Ash screams. I would say that is Goodra's first scene in the anime. Let's move on.
Now let's see why other people love Goodra. Now let's look at fan art.
Hello and welcome to the fan art section of the video. Now we're starting fan art, so instead we're looking at DeviantArt fan art. For those who aren't familiar with the series, what we do is we go through these images until we find an image that doesn't contain a Goodra. This is Goodra Family by MCG Mark. So we've done this over the last couple days, but we can do it again. So we've got the Goodra here, a couple Slagoo, 3 Goomy, as well as a couple Booper, a Quagsire, and at least 1 Ekans. And they're all in the swamp. Very well done. This is Goodra by Random Catastrophe. So you've got non-Hisuian and Hisuian Goodra here. Very well done. This is Sitting Cuties, number 0706. 10 Goodra by Philb. We've got number 0706 Goodra, Dragon, Pokémon, copyright Nintendo, wallpaper by Zelo Ego. So we've got the Sitting Cuties plushie on this background. This is Goodra Family by Frezem12. So we've got this nice image of a Goodra, a Goomy, and a Slagoo here. Very well done. This is Goodra by Snowfer8 Studios. So we've got this kind of stylized Goodra here. Very interesting. Very well done. This is Goodra by KulkC0415. It's this AI image of Goodra. This is Goodra by Gegral. So I got this maybe more realistic Goodra here, and then we got it with like a trainer. Interesting. This is Goodra by Annihilate. Got this really nice image of Goodra here on this very nice background. Almost looks like a photograph. I don't think it is, though. This is Goodra by Chilksy0415. We did this yesterday, but we can do it again as an AI image of Goodra and Slagoo and a Lotad. This is Goodra by Chilksy0415, so then we got another AI image of Goodra. This is Goodra Pokemon by Retratos Anime. This nice image of Goodra. Very well done. This is Goodra Duo by Lohi Greena. So you've got regular and shiny Goodra here. Very well done. This is Goodra / Florges Fusion by Shadow Trooper 977. This is an AI fusion of Goodra and Florges here. Yeah. This is A Lonely Goodra by Stock 108. We got this kind of sad image of a Goodra sitting alone, hugging itself. Aww. Very well done. This is Goodra Dress SFW by Scaly Spee. So we've got this, I guess, female Goodra here. Seems to be from April 23rd, 2025, or April 25th, 2023, depending on how they do their dates. This is Goodra Gets a Small Visit by Jason Belland. So we've got this Goodra visited by an Eevee here. You can see the size difference. Very well done. This is Goodra Tail Wag by Tail Taps. Got this animation of a Goodra wagging its tail. Interesting. This is Goodra with Tiny on his hand by Shakerato 929. So you've got this Goodra here holding up his hand, showing off Tiny, the character, I guess. This is Goodra and Dinosaur by an evil Stan user. This is an AI-generated models of Goodra and Dinosaur, one of the pals in Pal World. So we've got 4 of them here. I got this one, this one, this one, this one. Interesting. This is Blitzo Reads Goodra, a Story by Psy 532,782. So we got this AI image of Blitzo, I think from Helva Boss, reading, I guess, the story of Goomy into Goodra curled up. Yeah. This is Goodra by Casket King 00. It got this AI image of Hisuian Goodra here. This is a transformation art, apparently, and so I will not count this, and we'll move on.
Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. I won't be streaming tonight as I simply don't have time. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Klefki. As always, this isn't my proper outfit, and see me tomorrow.